Promises to be a good game at Saturday with the form both sides are in at St James Park.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's 14 unbeaten for Colchester, so a fantastic run of form from their point of view. We're in a good place ourselves, and obviously Tuesday night just demonstrated the fact that we've got good strength in depth at the moment. All to play for this weekend. Another team in and around the right end of the table looking to challenge, but we've been strong at home. We've always played on the front foot when we possibly can, and I'm expecting hopefully a big crowd to back us on this weekend.
Yeah, you mentioned the Tuesday night game, and also a few players coming back from injuries. Is competition for places the best it's been this season, do you think?
Probably after this weekend, I think. Obviously Nigel's got one more game of his suspension to serve, so he's another one to come back in the fold. Alex Fisher hopefully will be available in the next week or so. So we get through this weekend and there's a lot of bodies to come back, and obviously Holmes, he got the first bit of game time, or real game time, he's had this season, so we've still got to build those players up. It's not just as if they're back and available straight away, but they're certainly going to influence the group, influence the players who are playing at the moment, and keep on pushing them. You always want a competitive squad. You want players fighting for their positions and under a certain amount of pressure to retain the position as well, because they have to perform. If you perform well, then generally you get to keep your shirt, but also the team does well off the back of it. We're looking for a good performance this weekend, and we feel that will be a foundation for possibly picking up points.
You mentioned Lee Holmes coming back. How much of a plus is it to have him back? How long he's been out the final few months?
Exactly that. Really key, but we've got to build him up to match sharpness. So he got some minutes last week against Portsmouth and then Villa, respectively, in the 23s competition, and obviously a bit of game time towards the end against Stevenage on Tuesday. So the quicker we can get him up to full speed, per se, he's got a big role to play. Hopefully he's got a big role to play on the back of not influencing it so far this season through no fault of his own. He's just been unlucky with injuries. You can never choose your own timing in terms of when you're available, but to have a player of Lee Holmes' calibre back available is a big plus for the club.
We had a really good December and lots of games in there, obviously winning the Manager of the Month award for that month, but January's been even better. Obviously no goals conceded in the league yet, and we've won all the games, so we're on great form, aren't we?
Yeah, as quickly as form changes one way, it can change the other way. We're conscious of that. Football's such a game of fine margins, and we've never blown teams away this season. I think, like I said, after the game Tuesday, that was the first time I didn't feel comfortable. We were in a comfortable position at 3-0 up. Even our wins for the throughout the season really have been through such narrow margins, one goal here and there, and a late goal. So it's such tight games and such a competitive league that as good a form as we've been in, we've never been out of sight at any stage. We'd love to be in that position. I don't foresee it happening this weekend against a strong Colchester team who don't concede many goals. It'd be another game of those fine margins I talk about, but we've got to come out on top of those moments.
Yeah, and it's not so long since we actually played Colchester as well, and that was a really battling, even game up at their place.
Definitely. 2-2. Had all in it that game. We went ahead early. They got back disappointingly on the back of a set piece, and then they were strong at the start of the second half, and we got back into it courtesy of a penalty and a sending off, and then you felt we were going to go on and possibly win the game, but that never quite happened. If anything, we were on the back foot for the last 10 or 15 minutes when we were meant to be on the front foot playing against 10 men. So we know how good they are. They're a seriously good team, and fair play in terms of the recruitment and the coaching staff and the management there. They've got a good set of players, but so have we at the moment. I'd like a really good advert for League 2 football.
Do you take any lessons from that game, seeing as how close it was?
You try to, just like they will do in terms of us. A few personnel will change here and there, but maybe the systems and the patterns won't change too much, and the trends. It still comes down to being competitive. Still comes down to the basics and the fundamentals of League 2 football. Everyone's seeing the way our pitch is at the moment, so it's not always going to be pretty at times. The weather might play a part. This weekend we don't know that, and so it's a case of being in the right position at the right time, and the players keep putting themselves forward. They're playing with a vigour, an enthusiasm and a confidence at the moment, which I can't fault in any way, and they need to maintain that. We keep maintaining that, then we always give ourselves a chance, and that's what we've done so far. We've put ourselves in a position to give ourselves a challenge.
And that enthusiasm matched by the fans at home who've seen a great home record this season, and that's going to be important in the final.
Absolutely key. I put in my programme notes about the Grimsby fans, the ones who went all the way to Grimsby. I think it was 148, needing special mention, but our home fans have been outstanding all season. they probably don't get the same press because they don't have to travel as far and wide as some of our away fans do. But the noise they create, and you speak to the players, they love playing at the park. It's always a resounding factor in any interview a player does with his football club. How much they enjoy playing at home, and the fans play a huge part in that. There's nothing better than seeing the big bank full and then I'm backing the team. As much as we need to back them, we've got to excite them and get them on the edge of the seats and give them some energy, and likewise they give us some energy. So we always thrive off each other. That's the way we are as a club, but I've always said time and time again, we are stronger together.